Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Three foreigners have been arrested in Addis Ababa. What happened? Secondly, Afar Somali clashes. The two regions, militias on both sides have been involved in border clashing. It seems the two sides have reached an agreement on government level. Thirdly, was Djibouti is in trouble, in serious trouble. Is it going to go bankrupt? EU Foreign Affairs Chief visited Djibouti a week ago, and after that, he shared his assessment of Djibouti's economy, Ethiopia, Somaliland, MOU, diversion of traffic from Djibouti port, and Houthi attacks on cargo ships could lead to a challenge for Djibouti. Already, Djibouti is faced with a serious challenge. Details in this video. First, viewers, three foreigners have been arrested in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. They were arrested close to the ticket office of the Ethiopian Airlines. Two are Americans, one is from the UK. Why were they arrested? Well, the three foreigners were planning to protest just when they were starting their protests. Security forces detained them. They had some placards which they wanted to display with a writing, with a text. The text written on the placards was "Stop cruel monkey cargo." According to these foreigners, they had heard that Ethiopian Airlines was involved in transporting monkeys to other countries for research, and the monkeys would be put to death. Their bodies will be dismembered, and experiments will be performed on their bodies. They are animal rights activists. That is why they decided to protest in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa. Security forces took them into custody, and still they are in custody reported. Secondly, viewers, Afar Somali clash. We have seen several rounds of clashes between Afars and Somalis in border areas. The latest round of clashes began more than a month ago. It was the deadliest episode of violence on a far Somali border in recent years. The clashes went on for weeks. Both sides suffered losses. Hundreds of people were displaced. Dozens were killed, reportedly. Before that, we saw that the two parties met. Indirect talks were held to last year. Ethiopian National Defense Force mediated between Afars and Somalis. Then this year, Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council mediated between two parties. Still, no agreement could be reached. This latest round of violence was very alarming. I have been making videos on that. I urged the federal government to intervene. People were dying there on a far Somali border. It seems the two sides have reached an agreement. It has been announced by the regional presidents of the two sides. Afar Regional President Abul Arba, Somali Regional President Mustafa Umar have confirmed that the two sides have reached an agreement to resolve their bilateral issues through dialogue. They said from today they'll start their work. Misunderstandings will be removed. Displaced people will return to their homes. All issues will be solved through dialogue. This is what is being reported by both sides of by media of the both sides. Let's see, will they be able to find a lasting solution to their dispute? about 3 towns, Undufo, Adato, Garbaise, both use different names for these towns. Military is there. 2 towns are strategic, situated very close to Ethiopia Djibouti road. Can they resolve their issues on their own without involvement of any third party? Well, if it happens, it should be encouraged. Ethiopians should learn how to solve their problems on their own. They should not look for foreign mediators. So let's hope that the two parties will meet and they'll resolve their disputes through negotiations. But guns have been silenced. At least guns have been silenced. No fighting reported on Afar Somali border. Lastly, was Djibouti is in trouble. Djibouti, which is strongly opposing Ethiopia Somali land MOU, is opposing it for a reason. EU Foreign Affairs Chief Joseph Borrell visited Djibouti a week ago. After that, he shared his assessment of the impact of diversion of maritime traffic from Djibouti port on Djibouti's economy. And the figures, the numbers Joseph Borrell has shared are alarming, showing that Djibouti could go bankrupt if situation does not improve. Djibouti is facing 2 types of challenges. Firstly, we know that Houthis based in Yemen are attacking cargo ships which pass through the Red Sea close to Djibouti. That is why maritime traffic to Djibouti port has been disrupted. Secondly, Ethiopia is diverting its cargo from Djibouti port to other ports. Ethiopia imported fertilizers through Lamo port of Kenya earlier this year, around 2 months ago. Ethiopia is planning to divert its fuel imports to Berbera port. And Berbera port chief said a month ago that 30% of Ethiopian cargo is going to be diverted from Djibouti port to Berbera port. And obviously some will be diverted to Lamo port of Kenya as well. These are 2 main challenges faced by Djibouti. Djibouti's GDP relies a lot on its port. 60% of Djibouti's GDP relies on port. This is what Joseph Borrell said. It means that without port, Djibouti is bankrupt. Or if maritime traffic to the port decreases considerably, Djibouti could go bankrupt. Secondly, the revenue generated from port use has already fallen by 60%. Thirdly, Djibouti is in debt as well. It owes large amount of money. Its debt is 70% of its GDP. 70% of its GDP. How will Djibouti pay its debt? Main borrower is China. Djibouti owes a lot to China. 70% of GDP Djibouti's debt is. And if situation does not improve, if Ethiopia diverts its cargo 60, 70, 80% to Berbera and Lamo, and Houthi attacks continue, Djibouti could go bankrupt. It will have to get more loans to survive. This is what Joseph Borrell said. By the way, EU is also in trouble because more than 20%, around 23% of EU imports pass through the Red Sea, through Suez Canal. And now when Houthis are attacking the commercial ships, these ships bound for Europe, they have to take alternative routes, and cost of transportation of cargo from China, from other countries to Europe has doubled. It means prices will go up, inflation will rise in Europe too. That is why Europe, America, they have launched a joint naval operation to ensure safe movement of cargo ships in the Red Sea. But Houthi attacks continue. Let's see how the situation is handled. But Djibouti is in trouble, it seems. Thank you for watching.